Welcome to this Hope to Go. Today I want to talk to you about not quite a saint. Have you ever felt like that? Struggling but striving, somewhere in between here and God's perfect will? You know, the expression nobody's perfect is used or heard almost every day, but it's true. I'm not perfect, you're not perfect, nobody's perfect. Hopefully, we're all getting better and are on our way, struggling but striving, somewhere in between to perfection. Today on this Hope to Go, I want to look at a powerful example of an imperfect man who stayed in the perfect will of God. King David in the Bible. Now, in this Hope to Go, let me give you some ABCs to help you flow in the will of God in your life, even if you feel imperfect. Number one, when a problem comes up, seek God first. 1 Chronicles 14:8 says, when the Philistines heard that David had been anointed king over all Israel, they went up in full force to search for him. But David heard about it and went out to meet them. So David inquired of God, shall I go and attack the Philistines? Will you hand them over to me? The Lord answered him, go. I will hand them over to you. Now, the Philistines were sworn enemies of Israel. David understood that he needed God's direction before he went into battle. He had won his fair share of battles, including his great victory over Goliath. Yet, before David attacked the Philistines this time, he stopped and asked for God's guidance in two critical areas. Shall I attack? Will you hand them over to me? Now, we need to be asking similar questions. Should we take this course of action? Will you be with me in a powerful way if I obey? These are essential principles if you want to see God's power flow in your life. And B, when God gives direction, follow it. 1 Chronicles 14:14 says, so David inquired of God again, and God answered him again. Do not go straight up, but circle around them and attack them in front of the balsam trees. As soon as you hear the sound of marching in the tops of the balsam trees, move out to battle, because that will mean God has gone out in front of you to strike the Philistine army. So David did as God commanded him, and they struck down the Philistine army all the way to Gibeon Gezer. Now, David understood how vitally important it was for God's presence to be with him, because without God's presence, there was no guarantee of God's protection. Big hope question. What would have happened if David had done things on his own way during the second attack? Let me ask you, could your present and current circumstances be a direct result of not seeking or not following God's direction in the past? The simple truth is, where God leads, he is also present. So if we follow his leading, we will always be in his presence. Now, if you've been struggling, let me encourage you not to give up on obedience. It pays off big time. It is the small hinges that open the mighty doors of God. And finally, when God breaks out, give him the credit. 1 Chronicles 14:17 says, so David's fame spread throughout the land, and the Lord made all the nations fear him. David bears witness that the power of God broke out like a raging flood, Baal Perazim, and won the day and gave him the victory that he so desperately needed. These same principles of 1 Chronicles 14:8 and 17 can work today in your life as well, because life really hasn't changed that much from then until now, and God has never changed. Now, if you want to see God's power flow in your life, follow David's formula for success. One, when a problem comes up, seek God first. When God gives you direction, follow it. When God breaks out, give him all the credit. And that is your Hope to Go.